The language, which can be used for web development, single page applications development, service no scripting language for mobile application development, game development, and to build the apps in a smartwatches. And we can use in a machine learning. Even though Python is a priority one, this language can also be used there, and for programming the flying robots, and it has many more applications. Hi learners, welcome to the JavaScript world. I'll be explaining JavaScript with respect to web development part. So before that, let's understand some of the basics of JavaScript, like syntax, like how the JavaScript executed and all. I'm using Play Code Editor to explain the JavaScript concepts. Okay. Okay, HTML, which is a markup language, and CSS is for styling purpose, and JS. Here comes the JS, which is used for making the applications, making the web applications dynamic. So I'll be explaining that JS. So first of all, what is JavaScript? It has many definitions. First one is JavaScript is a object-oriented language. Actually, it has 7 primitive data types. Okay. Apart from that, everything in a JavaScript is considered as a objects. Then it can also called as a functional language. Then it has a first class functions. So the language which have a first class functions. Actually, the first class functions means the functions which can return a function, or we can pass the functions as a arguments. I'll give one quick example. Actually, in JavaScript, we'll use the function keyword to define the functions, and this is the body. And if I written any function, let's say a, so this is a first class functions. Or I'll call this function f by passing a arguments c, which is a function. So these JavaScript has this type of concepts in that. Then JavaScript is a single threaded language. Okay, you don't have any multiple threads to run the number of lines of code at a single time. Actually, what is single threaded means, let's say we have a variable a which is 10, then variable b which is 20. So JavaScript comes to fifth line. These are some comments, so it neglects that. Then JavaScript compiler comes here and it will execute the line number 5, and after successfully execution of line number 5, it will get into line number 6. So that is a single threaded concept. Then it is a just in time, or it is a dynamic one. Actually, JavaScript is considered as a dynamic language or just-in-time language. I mean, all compilation will be done at runtime. Okay. See, I assign var a equal to 10. Okay, and I'll print in a console. See, semicolon. Okay, console. In console, the value of a will be printed. If I change the value of a as let's say Tony, then it will be printed. So there is no error like before var a, I mean a is a type of integer, now it's a string, right? So it don't throw any error at the compile time. At the runtime, all the compilation will be done. So that is called as just-in-time or dynamic one. So JavaScript is a just-in-time or dynamic language, and it is a scripting language. We can use it for web pages, right? For scripting. So these are some of the most common use definitions of JavaScript. Then next concept will be ECMA standard. Actually, JavaScript follows these ECMA standard. What is that means? Let's say we have a two browsers, okay? One browser using one syntax and another browser using a different syntax, then there won't be a interoperability between those two browsers, right? So to overcome that, there is a common standard which every browser or every developer has to follow. That is called as ECMA standard. Simply, if I want to tell, let's say var a equal to 10. Here, to define or to declare the variable, we are using the var keyword, right? Let's say tomorrow ECMA will come and tell instead of var use Tony to declare or define the variable. So every browser or every developer should use Tony to declare the variable. That's about ECMA standard. Then yeah, next concept will be global execution context. So it will tell how JavaScript code will execute. I'll just write one JavaScript code and explain like how compiler. See, we have a different JavaScript engines. In Chrome, we have a V8 JavaScript engine, and in Firefox, we have a Spider Monkey. Like that, every browser has their JavaScript engines. Then outside the browser, we have a Node.js, which is JavaScript environment. How JavaScript will be executed by these things? We'll learn that. I'll quickly write one code. I'll take one function which has a parameter name. If that name equal to uh, Tony, let's say it's, if the name equal to Tony, then he will tell like I'm Iron Man. So we write that type of code. Here I uses the triple quotes. I'm sorry, triple equals. So if we use the double equals, then it will check like the value, whether it's LHS value equal to RHS. But if we use the triple equals, then it will check for the value as well as the type, whether the type of LHS equals to type of RHS. So then if name equal to Steve, we can use LCF, but as of now, we'll use if only. We'll assign like I am Captain America and we'll return the n value. This is a function. We call this function and we'll output the value. See, the output is I'm Iron Man. Since the value, I mean name is Tony, it's printing like I am Iron Man. So if the JavaScript compiler will see this code, how it will run, how it will compile. Let's see that. I'll use this. Initially, if the compiler sees the JavaScript code, if it starts compiling, there is a window object will get created. Initially, window object will get created. After that, there is a global execution context. Okay, that will get created, and there is a local execution context. I'll explain that in detail. First, window object will get created, then global execution context and local execution context. Let's see what is a GEC and local EC. Actually, execution context, we can call it as a container. It will contain all the variables that we used in our code and all the functions. Actually, it has a two phases. Two phases. The first phase will be memory phase. Okay. Then second phase will be execution phase. In memory, all the variables will get stored, and in execution, every lines will be executed. That's it. We'll compare with our code. First, it will come here, first line, it's a comment, it will neglect. Then second line also, it's a comment, it will neglect that. It means the compiler or JavaScript engine. Then it will come here, the function. We are not calling the function, it's a function definition, right? So it doesn't do anything. It just store this function as it is in a memory. Okay. Actually, it's a Avenger, right? Avenger. Colon. Whole code will be stored here. Actually, it is a reference for the function. It's a reference for whole code. It's not actually a code. It's a reference for that code. Then, okay, then it will come here, right? 13th line, there is no code. Then 14th line, there is a variable we are declaring and we are defining by calling the function. Initially, in a memory phase, A will be stored in a memory and undefined value will be assigned. Initially, the value will be undefined for any variables. Let's say for any variables, the value will be undefined. Then here comes the execution phase. In execution phase, see here the function is calling, right? So it starts executing, it starts calling the function with the argument Tony. So here name will be Tony. So for that, if we call the function, there is another local execution context will be created in a execution phase. Okay. If the after the memory phase, here comes the execution phase. In execution phase, if the any function will be called, then it will create a local execution context. Because here local variables, the variables which is in a function inside the function will get stored here, and all the code within a function will get executed here, right? So here it's a memory phase and it's a execution phase. Okay, let's call this as EC1, execution context 1. Okay, so in a code, I mean, in a this function, if there are any variables, it will stored in a memory. Here, it will call this function. Since we have a reference, right? It call this function in a memory phase. We have a n variable which is undefined. Okay, which is undefined. Mm, undefined. Then there are no variables, there is a code to execute, so it will come here and it will search for name equal to Tony. If it is true, then n value will be Iron Man, or else n will be Captain America. Since it's a Tony, we are passing as the Tony, it's a I am Iron Man, right? So n value will be replaced with I am Iron Man. Okay, I'll write here I am Iron Man. Okay, then what's our code? A will be assigned with the return value. It will return n value. Okay. So n will be Iron Man. It will return the value. If it returns, this execution context will get deleted. Oh, this execution context whole value get deleted. Then A will be what? It's a Iron Man. I am Iron Man. That's it. So if we talk about this call stack means uh, if any context will get created, it will make an entry here in a call stack. Okay, that's it. It's like a log, we can say. See, this is a call stack. Here, initially GEC, global execution context will get created and it will make an entry in a call stack. Then we have a execution context one that is created. It's a temporary one. So after returning the value, this will be deleted. This EC1 will be deleted. That's it. Then at the end, the value will be printed in a console. That's it. This whole global execution context will get deleted after that. So this is how the global execution context works. Let's see another example. If there is a variable, let b equal to I have enjoy of it's a Steve, passing argument Steve. So what will be the output? I am Iron Man for A and I am Captain America for B, right? So for this, I'll quickly explain how GEC will how GEC will work. First, the function. reference. Okay. Then A colon undefined, then B colon undefined. Here B colon undefined, B colon undefined. Okay. Actually, this will be undefined. Then here comes the execution phase. In execution phase, we are calling the first function Avenger with the argument Tony. So for that, as I explained, there is a global execution context, EC1 will get created, and there is a memory phase and there is an execution phase. And after that, the value of A, I mean, the value of A will be deleted and with assign, I mean, it will get replaced with I am Iron Man. Okay. So this is the EC1. So at this time, it will make an entry EC1, right? EC1, it will make an entry EC1. Then it will get deleted. Okay. Then our code have another variable and another function call. So this is a Avenger of Steve. Argument will be Steve. So for this, there is another execution context will get created. Let's say this is a EC. EC3. Okay, EC3, same. We have a memory phase and we have a execution phase. Memory phase and execution phase. N will get n colon undefined, and we'll call this function whole code. We call here in execution phase, and it will get executed, and it will come here. Actually, it will come here. The value will be false. Then it will come here. Name equal to Steve. Then n will assign with I am Captain America, and n will get returned. So at this point, EC3 have a entry here. Okay, in a call stack. Then after this value will be deleted and will replace it with I am Captain America. Okay. Yeah, this EC3 will get deleted at the time of returning statement. Then its entry in a call stack also get deleted. Then at the end of the statement, at the end of the code, all these GEC, everything will get deleted. Okay, that's it. That's about GEC, Global Execution Context. I hope you understand the concept. So yeah, another concept I want to tell about is eval. It's eval. Okay, actually JavaScript is an interpreted language. We can interpret at any point of time in a JavaScript execution. So we can do this by using the eval. We can interpret that. Then another advantage of or another use of eval is we can create a execution context. Okay, we can create our own execution context. As I explained here, we can create our own execution context using eval. Okay, yeah, that's about eval. So I explain the JavaScript definitions, ECMA standard, GEC, eval. In next video, I'll give some examples with respect to eval, and I'll be explaining the difference between var, let, and const. Okay. Then I'll explain some more concepts in our next video. See you. Bye. Take care.